MicroStrategy stock is up over 525% year to date in 2024. That's more than AI stocks like Nvidia and others that are soaring as a result of increasing demand for artificial intelligence. Of course, MicroStrategy is making a huge bet on the success of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, what's driving these increases in MicroStrategy stock price? I'm going to go over the latest details in the company's quarterly conference call to get some more insights into what's going on with MicroStrategy.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
MicroStrategy's management team said that for the end of the third quarter, MicroStrategy remains the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin in the world, now holding 252,222 Bitcoins, with a total Bitcoin market value of $18 billion as of yesterday. And this report was held on October 30th, 2024. And as you probably already know, the price of Bitcoin has surged closer to $100,000 on the back of the presidential and political elections in the United States, which seem to favor the institutionalization of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin especially. Since June 30th, 2024, they acquired an additional 25,889 Bitcoin for a total purchase cost of $1.6 billion, or an average price of $60,839. And as I shared with you, the price of Bitcoin today is closer to $100,000 per Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy's purchases of Bitcoin are proving to be very lucrative for the company, as the price has increased way more than their purchase price. So they believe that the reason for the increase in Bitcoin has been the spot Bitcoin exchange traded products, which has drawn considerable institutional attention to the asset class. They believe the introduction and initial success at the spot Bitcoin ETPs evidences the maturation of Bitcoin as an institution-grade asset class with broader regulatory recognition and institutional adoption. And the trend has been for more institutionalization of Bitcoin. You're seeing these types of developments. Of course, the results of the election in the US, Donald Trump has said he will support Bitcoin and the regulation of this currency as an asset class. And it's gaining increasing attention with institutions. Of course, it's always been popular among individuals. It was one of the most popular asset classes, of course, in 2020 and 2021, as the cryptocurrency demand soared during the pandemic. So in September, they raised $1.1 billion in net proceeds through their at-the-market or equity offering program, and raised $1 billion through the issuance of their convertible notes. And they used some of that to pay off previous convertible notes. So now all of their Bitcoin holdings are unencumbered, meaning they're not connected to any other investment. So they can do what they wish with their Bitcoin. They don't have any restrictions on them. So because they hold so much Bitcoin now, and the company has basically turned into an investment into Bitcoin and not on its other business, which we'll talk a little bit more about, maybe not in this video, but on another video. But the primary reason to invest in MicroStrategy stock is because of its strategy on Bitcoin. That's the main selling point, not the business where it sells products and services to companies. So they've developed a new descriptor for what they are, which is the world's first and largest Bitcoin treasury company. And by using proceeds from equity and debt financing, as well as cash flows from their operations, they strategically accumulate Bitcoin and advocate for its role as digital capital. And that's the biggest thing here, is they advocate for its role as digital capital. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor has been one of the most prominent advocates or cheerleaders for Bitcoin, always hyping up the asset, going on interviews and finding different ways to sell Bitcoin to investors, and the success in that is leading to the success of the company. This is an asset class that needs promotion. Without the promotion, organic demand for this asset class would not be great, right? And it's similar to gold, right? You can search around on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on gold and companies that are advocating for gold, making the case for gold and promoting it, right? Because organically, demand for these types of assets that don't generate any cash flow have any value in that sense, but they do have value in the sense that if everybody else is interested in it and people are buying it and there's an active market for it and the price is volatile, there is an attraction to the asset class. And without this promotion, you wouldn't have that. So it's heavily dependent on promotion and the people that are promoting it. How skilled are they in promoting this asset class? And so far, they have been very skilled at promoting this asset class. As you see, it's trading at $100,000 per Bitcoin. When you hold a Bitcoin, what can you do with it? It's not going to generate any cash flow for you. It's going to sit around, and you're hoping that one day you'll be able to sell it to somebody else at a higher price, or that it becomes so incorporated into the economy that you can actually use your Bitcoin to make purchases of things like cars and homes, etc. So the company, their treasury strategy is designed to provide investors varying degrees of economic exposure to Bitcoin. And they do that, right? You might say, well, why would I buy MicroStrategy stock instead of just buying uh, Bitcoin in the open market? Well, MicroStrategy stock gives you a different degree of exposure to Bitcoin. If you own just one Bitcoin, let's say, you're owning the price movement of that one Bitcoin. If you own one Bitcoin at 100,000 and it goes up to 110,000, you've gained $10,000 if you sell it to someone else, and minus the fees depending on the platform you're trading on, the fees for that. But if you own MicroStrategy stock, the price of Bitcoin goes up by 10,000. MicroStrategy stock price may or may not go up by more than that because the company is financing some of their Bitcoin purchases with debt. So if you're buying $1,000 worth of MicroStrategy stock, you might be getting exposure to 2 times the price change of Bitcoin. And so there's some varying degrees of exposure to Bitcoin by investing in MicroStrategy stock. You're also counting on the company's ability to manage the timing of the purchases. And if you invest in MicroStrategy stock and you give the company money so that the company can go and buy Bitcoin, you're also gaining the services of the CEO and the company's management to go out and continue to advocate for Bitcoin, right? If you invest in Bitcoin directly, instead of investing it with MicroStrategy, if MicroStrategy didn't own as much Bitcoin, the CEO and the company's management team wouldn't be as interested in promoting and advocating for Bitcoin. One of the reasons why they're interested in advocating for it is because they own so many of the asset themselves. And so when the asset price goes up, their wealth goes up. So they are very interested and incentivized to advocate. And so if you invest in their company, you're giving them even more incentive to go out and continue advocating, as well as giving them more negotiating power, more influence when they go to advocate, because the company has become such a strategic holder of the asset and has become a more important part of the ecosystem. So it's interesting to see the developments of this company developing a first of its kind strategy. And so far, it's been extremely successful.
Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.